Hey, my true tellers, how are you guys doing? Let me go ahead and load the music down. Hope you all are doing great today. Yes, indeed. It is beautiful out here. Let me load the music down a little bit. Guys, I'm not going to camera up. I'm in my mood today. But Country Girl McQueena, she says, good afternoon, unapologetic real talk and chat at work listening. Okay, all right. Stay safe. Also, Miss Sparkus in the house says, hey, Lady D and family. How are you doing, Sparkus? Sassy Brown. Good afternoon, everyone. And my girl is in the house. I'm finna go ahead and drop the link. We're going to go ahead and chop it up some. She says, hello, Lady D, Mize in chat. I'm right on time. Yes, you are, girl. Yes, you are. So let me go ahead and drop the link for Misbehaving is Fun. And guys, make sure you go ahead and check her out. Misbehaving is fun. Okay. So I'm going to drop the link for my girl, waiting for her to come on. As you can see right here, we got another hot topic we want to go ahead and talk about. The streets trying to find out. The streets are talking. Okay. From accountability to hypocrisy. Someone passed the tissue. Yes. We're going to go ahead and talk about love and marriage in Huntsville. And like I said, all this right here is for entertainment purpose only. You air it out. You are free game. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Okay. Like I said, honey, you play silly games, you win silly prizes. Okay. So, guys, make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content. How are you doing, my girl? Misbehaving is fun. How are you doing?
Hey, hey, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Girl, I'm doing awesome. I'm doing great. I'm here to go ahead and talk about these people. Like I said, better them than me, okay? You aired out, you
Okay.
free game, honey.
It ain't nobody's mad but the devil.
Absolutely, honey. Absolutely. So how are you doing?
I am doing fine. Trying to rest up, but baby, honey, what I say? Deflection, distraction, and diversion.
Come on now.
We ain't got no time for that, but I love that Africa, baby. I love that thumbnail. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I
It,
really
it might
do.
it might mean something in a few, okay? You never know, right?
Ain't no telling, baby. We like everybody on the show. Well, at least I know I like everybody on the show. And I've
Absolutely.
said you ride and die for Miss Letitia Scott. And
You
baby,
know.
Letitia, we are rooting for you, girl. We are rooting for you. But as a regulator, I would not be doing my due diligence if I didn't always keep it real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, I've been riding, for Tisha for so long. But like I said, much is given, much is required. You have to know when it comes to these reality shows, especially when it seems so easy, anything that looks microwavable and you're not putting in the work, sometimes you got to question that. Everybody wants stuff that is so easy, but much is given, much is required. That's how I look at it.
That's right. You got to earn that check, baby. I heard they sat out. Ain't that what Melody said on one time, honey, talked about she had to go out there to try to secure new cast for Love and Marriage Huntsville because the Scots was on strike. But she had to sit up there on Carlos King platform now and she said, "You paying us? We getting paid," and got to giggling and chuckling. Well, baby, guess what? It's time to clock in, cause honey, folks is snooping. Folks is snooping.
That's it. That's it. And the thing about it is that when we saw, you remember when Carlos King had them all on the platform? I think it was what it was on was giving some dealing with the NAACP was hosting, and when it was saying, that the ball is now going to be in the Scots' hands, right there, I know that they was going to make these people work for that money. It wasn't going to come easy.
You know it, huh? Uh-huh. hmm
And I mean,
Well,
these nosy
uh,
bloggers trying to find out, trying to put the pieces together, huh?
and little do they know, pieces was already being put in front
Ab-
of them for seasons. You just had to pay attention.
That's
But
it.
honey, it's about time that Africa. I'm surprised Africa then finally came around. I guess they, well, I don't want to talk. Well, yeah, I better talk about it, honey, because I ain't finna shut up. I mean, why talk about Africa now? Why they didn't talk about Africa on the show when Marcel went to Africa? Why are they
Absolutely.
talking about it now after he then took his beautiful family, his beautiful black family, over there to Africa? Is it
Absolutely.
smoke and mirrors? Is it
Got
smoke
to
and
be.
mirrors?
Got to be. Got to be. And the thing about it, you remember when Marcel had came out, and he said the reason why he went out there because, he was depressed, and that was a nugget right there, that he was trying to drop, oh, you're depressed, oh, you're going to come up with all these different excuses just to not have your wife where you need your me time, all that right there, does it sound for me? You need your me time. Now, after, a few months later, you decide you want to go ahead and you want to get
Why
your
your
entire
mic going in?
family. My mic is going in and out. Guys, let me know if you can hear us real
Yes,
good.
it sounded like that to me in my headphone. You're going in and out.
Let me know if
Because
you
right
guys
now
can
you
hear me real
sound
good.
real clear.
Okay, guys, let me give me a thumbs up if you can hear us real good. Country girl, if you in the house, sassy, someone, Sparkers, let me know if you can hear us real good. Checking your boo, let me know if you can hear us real good. She said, "What's up, chat? Unapologetic, real talk. Your thumbnail is on point. What's is another thing that Marcel and Martell X have in common. Both left familiar for me time. Yes, 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 yes. You got it. So you can hear me good, real good because
Mm-hmm.
um, Misbehaving said that I'm going in and out. What about Miss Behaving? She said, I hear you all. Okay. So you can't hear me, right? Misbehaving?
I hear you, but every once in a while you're going in and out of
Hmm.
my headphone. I may have to take the head. Well, I can
Yeah,
take the
because
headphone
yeah,
off
it was
and
kind
listen.
of yeah, yeah. Take your headphones off.
Well, go on
Oh
and read your disclaimer, Lady D, or did you
Oh
already
yes,
do
yes,
that?
yes, 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 absolutely. That is a must right there. Let me see if I can see it. It says copyright disclaimer is under section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as what? Criticism, guys. Going look up the definition when it comes to criticism. Like I said, nobody mad but the devil. Fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay, guys, checking your booth say I hear you all real good. Also, let me go ahead and put this up right here because, like I said, no one can go and get mad. They put their life out there on display for the entire world to go ahead and pick it apart. And like I said, in here, I am non-biased, unapologetic. I don't care what you guys, wants to go ahead and put out. We don't jump on no bandwagon. Like I said, we stand alone. We're gonna call good whatever it is, and we're gonna call evil whatever it is, and that's real talk. So all this right here is a legend in our opinion, and to us for entertainment purpose only. Okay, that's how I see it.
Hmm. Yep, that's right. For purposes only. Oh, hello everybody. Lady D, Lady D. And look how that man hold Melody up in that. I'm looking at your thumbnail. I'm looking up at this screen, baby. He got that right hand, that big, strong black arm and wide back leaned into Melody, and he just resting that hand heavily on her shoulder. Mm, mm, mm,
And I'm not gonna tell
mm,
you no lie.
mm,
I
mm.
never ever saw that type.
I
You
think
can feel that was genuine, authentic hug. I ain't never saw that type of hug, and that's my opinion. When he hugged Tisha like that, you ever saw a hug like that?
I'm telling you, when they went to field day, that's the first time I've ever seen them hugged up like that, lovey dovey. Honey, I ain't never seen it. I ain't never seen it, honey. And what man you inviting a woman down unannounced?
You
Ain't
breaking up.
this
You
this
breaking
is
up.
the second
Hmm.
time that a husband has somebody down to their this is the second time that a man has invited someone to their private gathering unannounced. Now, see, Marcel did it with Melody, with he and Tisha, and recall back when Chris Fletcher did it with Nell when he invited Martell down. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So you got some similarity, but you see what Miss Sparkle said.
He
It said
said,
Marcel has always had some.
let me pin it up. Marcel, yes, Marcel always has something for Melody, absolutely, and that's why they wanted to go in alliance together. And Tisha, she didn't see. Tisha was going to go alone with them, but the thing about it is that a lot of people, they wants to pick and choose what to go ahead and put out. Like I said, these people put their life out there for the entire world to pick it apart, and what's in the dark is eventually going to come to the light. And rest her soul, God bless her soul, when it comes to Kiki, when they brought Kiki on, and it was such an explosion. You tell it, you tell it, you tell it. I dare you to tell it, I wish I had that clip, but I didn't have time,
I remember.
to go ahead and put it out. But you remember that scene when Kiki was about to come out and say, I mean, he was just turning
Yes, I
into a
remember it.
Tasmania devil. You remember that?
He, yes, he was. He said, "I burn this whole shit down, and all the family member was hopping up to, didn't want Kiki to say anything, and we are, as fans, we were glued to the ends of our seats. We were waiting for the next episode, and when Carlos finally came back out, they never discussed it anymore. Nothing was said and nothing was shown from that episode, because at that time, that's when the fan base of Love and Marriage Huntsville, where we really were rooting for, we wanted a spin-off show of uh Tisha's family. Although we say the
Hmm.
Scots, really it was about Tisha, Miss Wanda, their dynamics, because Miss Wanda, she says whatever, and Marceau always put on airs, he and Maurice, as if they were better than. They always tried to paint the pictures as if they came from a middle class or upper middle class family. That's what the picture that they painted. But then, as season has gone on and more information has come out, you find out that they were raised by a single mother. The father went to prison, this, that, and the other. So, in fact, Miss Wanda and Tisha never came from the other side of the track. They knew a whole lot about the other side of the track. They was just putting on airs. And I ain't got nothing else to say about that, baby.
You're absolutely right, but they was dropping the breadcrumbs. It's just that we was so fixated in all this other stuff, and then the thing about it, they was trying to turn the story around. When they went ahead all of a sudden out of nowhere, went and throw whatever it was, had Tisha in the middle of it when it talked about Martell was gay. So they thought that we was going to keep pouncing on that, and all that right there was a distraction. And this is my opinion, this is allegedly. Like I said, guys, if you want more information, go ahead and subscribe to my membership only, because this right here, this is a lot. And like I said, these people signed off for this right here. So you think that people going to allow you to keep regurgitating all this old stuff that they putting out there? Like Tisha wanted us to talk about the ring. I think it was like last week or the week before. Well, you was talking about the man wasn't wearing the ring 5 years ago. Now all of a sudden you want to go ahead and just keep regurgitating all this instead of getting to what's really going on. Because now people they starting to question, and things are starting to come out. Things are starting to come out. And the thing about it, this is what I don't like, misbehaving. I don't like when a man is out there doing they dirt, but they always try to turn it around on the woman. You remember that scene when they all, I think they was on a vacation. I think it was in Texas, where Tisha has said that, I think that I'm pregnant. You remember? And he tried to twist it, and saying that Tisha was out there cheating. You remember that scene right there?
Yes. Uh-huh. I remember that.
So why you think that they always try to go ahead and twist it, as if, oh, she stepped out first. If she did step out, just like he told on that scene, like I said, most of this stuff, they play it out, but you guys don't hear it because you guys so fixated, behind stuff that it's not playing out. But you remember when Marcia had came out, Marcel came out and told Martell, I could have left. You remember when he said, I could have left, but I chose to stay in my marriage. So right there, they was trying to go ahead and turn it on Tisha, as if,
Mhm.
Tisha was the one that was out there, doing it. But if Tisha did do anything, she did it because you did it first.
Yeah, that's right. That's why he called her cheat back Tisha. You cheat, she gonna cheat. Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes, Lord. Letitia, wake up, honey. That man, they trying to set you up. Now, we're not, our commentary is, we are not trying to tear down his family. We are not encouraging Tisha to leave her husband. What we are encouraging, we would hope that she would speak up for herself and stop being a doormat. This man dishonors you and that marriage. He doesn't protect you, he doesn't cover you. Honey, he uses you to benefit him. And he need to tell, he's another cautionary tale. Honey, you
Mm-hmm.
better appreciate you could have a wife that ain't about nothing, don't want to do nothing. Ain't gonna be nothing. You got a woman that's trying to stand by her man, baby. She's standing by her man, but her man ain't standing by her. Hmm. Come on with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Checking your boo says Tisha ugly misbehavior on callers was successful low. I think he made her he put out there like that. Her plot backfired. Why didn't Marceau slander Martell when he was on callers week before Tisha? Absolutely. That's used the woman for sympathy backfired. Absolutely. And that's what everybody, wanted to talk about. So now that's why his dirt, is coming out. And all of a sudden, now you're hearing little bits and pieces, that he put everything in her name. First of all, everything was Tisha. According to what they already had put out, Tisha already had talked about 80% of the business. It was hers, and most likely her credit was better than what his was. But the thing about it is that now all this stuff right here, is coming together. And the thing that I don't like about it is that we want to pick and choose what to go ahead and talk about. Now all you're hearing, oh, this better not come out, this better not, this and that. Well, when you was out there putting Melody's stuff out there, and I ride hard for Tisha, but when Melody's stuff was out
Hmm.
there, you didn't hear nobody sitting there say, oh, I'm going around and shutting channels down, I'm going around and do this and do that. You see what I'm saying? You didn't hear none of that. You see?
No.
But now
Mm-mm.
all of a
Was
sudden you
pushing.
want to hear, they want to sit there and clean up and giving you the rundown about YouTubers and what YouTubers could say and what YouTubers and that. I know exactly what YouTubers could say. If they can sit there and come on and give their commentary and all is alleged, like I say, these people signed for this. Much is given, much is required. That's how I see it. And also Sassy Brown said just because they know there's the one, do it first. Also being checking your boo say also being in a marriage just to brag about being married for the longest is not necessary a long healthy marriage. Absolutely. We talked about it. You could brag all you want. Oh, I've been in this marriage for 18 years. Was it happy, or was pure hell? Sometimes, I'd rather just go ahead and just walk away than allow someone to disrespect me. And now you got this reality show, he's really disrespecting you.
Hmm. Potisha, a married single woman. A married single woman. But I like the title of this live, baby. YouTube Streets from Accountability to Hypocrisy. Pass the tissue, please. Pass the tissue, please. Let me tell you something. Who was he at in Africa with? That's what I want to know. Who was he in Africa with? Was he with Shanita? Because they said him and Maurice like linebackers, and Shanita big like a linebacker. So was he in Africa with Shanita?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, just an observation, just an opinion. Not an
I don't know,
accusation.
but the only well, like I said, when it comes to Shanita, she got a lot of business in Africa. When people wants to do business now, where they run to the motherland. So
Hmm.
it's just a lot, and all this right here is alleged and for entertainment purpose only. And all I just know is that when it comes to Ariane is the reason why they going to the highest heavens, trying to make a life a living hell. Why they don't want Ariane on. Maybe Ariane might sit there and say something that we don't like. And why they trying to go ahead and assassinate Martell's character, where they want to go ahead and attach him as he was gay. You afraid
Right.
that Marcel might know something, Martell might know something that, is really going to tie a Shanita, and I'm just saying allegedly, a
Mhm.
Melody and all of them tying up, let's go ahead and donate to Africa and let's go ahead and build these wells. And, hey, look at Portia. Portia went and got her boo boo from Africa. Didn't she got her
Mhm.
African boo? Shoo, honey.
They all going to Africa. All of them. Hell, they all going to Africa. It doesn't matter which show. The men and women are heading over to the continent of Africa. What for? I don't know. But I don't know if it was Checking You Boo or somebody had put up in there. And honey, I just want to repeat that. I'm going to piggyback off that.
Checking your boo.
Yeah, I think Checking You Boo was the one that said it. But honey, I'm going to repeat it because folks need to hear this.
This one
It's
right here.
money. Let me see which one.
While folks
Uh-uh.
are,
No, but go ahead and read that. It wasn't that one, but go ahead and read it.
she says, while folks are on the bandwagon of Martell not having anything to lose, why isn't Marcel talking about his place of employment before the show and before Martell help him to get ahead? See, that's what
There
I
you
don't like.
go.
I
There
don't
you
like
go.
that. People
There you go.
always forget when you do something. You see?
Yeah, checking you, boo. Uh huh. Thank you, checking you, boo. That I was getting around that a couple of videos ago, but I like that part that you said. See, Marceau and Melody show got a lot in common, don't they? You
Hmm,
know, Melody, when she want to break from her family and stress, she goes to a hotel. Marceau,
absolutely.
when he wants a break from his family, he goes over to Africa. Yeah. You can't make shit. You can't even make this stuff up, baby. Look, I know there was a time in many videos where it has shown Melody where she has said, she turned up her face, she yelled, and as if disgusted by the mere thought of being affiliated of some sort of paramour relationship with Marceau. But honey, how many people have we seen in real life? The person that they hate the most be the one they end up with, honey. And you would be
Absolutely.
like, that's an unlikely coupling. We never saw that coming. Boy, she hated him. Or boy, how many men talk bad about a woman? Talk about how ugly she is, big mouth. Ain't that because if memory serves me correctly, isn't that what Simon ex-wife Fallon said? Simon talked about Portia Williams like a dog, and what did he do? Go ahead and wife Portia up, baby.
Hmm.
Something ain't
Portia
something.
cleaned that up. Who Simon started looking good. I put
Yeah,
Portia really
yeah.
had him looking good. Rubbed that head and everything else, and had him looking good, honey. I think
Uh,
she'll do good with them long breasts hanging on his belly. You see what I'm saying? Shoot, go get it cut off.
ooh,
Go get it cut off.
ooh, I'm telling, that's all I can see is them. Baby, I ain't got no problem with the way folks is living, but honey, I am not about to be with no man with no big long titties, nothing. Because anytime I see a man with titty, you can't be laying on me because I'm gonna think you a woman, baby. And only women need to be having some saggy long titties. What, honey? That ain't my husband. That's Tisha husband. But what I'm
Mm.
saying to y'all is, Love and Marriage Huntsville fans and critics, y'all then piggyback and beat that dead horse about Melody and Martell for years. Martell has sat up on episode after episode, and he would say, "Tell my real life," or "It's a lot of folks got a lot
Yep.
that's going on
Yep.
with," and nobody would show it. And why Carlos is hiding what's going on with the Scots. We ain't never. Let me tell you something. The only time we've seen Marceau, we didn't seen him on these work sites with not any PPE on, uh, personal protective equipment. We ain't seen none of that. He up at the work site with coffee. We ain't seen nothing built to completion. The only thing we seen completed is black. That's it. We ain't even see Tisha get her own office finished. You didn't open up all these businesses or started building on them. We ain't seen no completion. We ain't. Let me tell you something. I ain't even seen Tisha sit in a carpool lane going to transport the kids to their sporting events or to school.
I
So
never.
it's just a lot of incohesiveness. It's incohesive, Carlos. Y'all need to tell the story if this is going to be reality. Y'all drop out these breadcrumbs, then we hear inklings of stories of stuff that's going on. Then now that y'all done let years pass by, now y'all trying to bring it back. So you did show Tisha crying in the car. True
Hmm.
enough, we don't know who back that was, but we'll never forget that episode that when that rumor came out about Marceau supposedly being down in Atlanta with some woman and she didn't took a picture of his back, and then the picture comes and Tisha sitting in the two-seater crying, and then Marceau trying to console Tisha. We don't know, but looky, who done cooked or crumbled the cookie? Now y'all want to come out and Tisha talking about we didn't know we was gonna divorce or not. We was in a rough spot. Now folks talking about they were separated. Y'all done showed little hints on the show, just like when we talked. When Marceau was renovating their house, he was staying over in the house that was renovating, and Tisha and the
Absolutely.
girl was staying in, I think, an apartment or a smaller house. They were somewhere else.
Yep.
So you will see different clips of Tisha's facial expression where she's sad, she's unhappy. Mars said, "Look, I don't know, man. You could be the husband and the man in the house, but damn, you don't know nothing that's going on with your children. Nothing." Wasn't MJ 10 years old at least when Marcel realized that the child was allergic to peanut butter?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Kids had to tell him. Marcel, let me tell you something, baby. Something ain't right. And he always referring to their kids as Tisha's kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of no married man, no husband that's not claiming his kids and jokingly referring to his kids as only belonging to the wife. Tisha's kids. I don't know. I ain't got no nothing else to say no more. Go ahead, Lady D. What you
I,
got?
I just think that the disrespect, that he did, and now it's coming out. I think that what they should have done, knowing that all this stuff, was going to come out, especially when the light is on them, like I said, much is given, much is required. I think that they would should have went ahead and bailed out. Because of you saying that you got all these businesses outside of love and marriage in Huntsville, and you know good and well that these people is not going to, be on your side. Why would you even put your life out there? It's like they sacrificing their life. And I went ahead and I saved this right here, what Checking Your Boo had said when she said when Marcel went to Africa, he didn't have to worry about impregnating since the big snip snip, so
That's
he
right.
was free to go.
Mhm. He did. Checking you, boo, is right. He went on that trip right after he had that vasectomy. And for those of you that are true fans, you know he immediately went and got that vasectomy after it came out that Ariane was pregnant by Martell.
Mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
Don't check
And
you,
that's
boo.
Yep. And also she said while Tisha repeating what Marcel said about Martell sleeping with men, wasn't Marcel coming behind Martell with the double dip? You see? Like you say, birds of a
Okay.
feather flock together, right?
Yeah,
But
you
the thing
said
about
you
it
got
is
it
that
right.
I didn't like it that, they wanted to pour everything at Martell. I guess, Martell is like everybody hate Chris,
Yep.
nobody likes Martell, so let's continue pouring everything on Martell, and they're gonna run with it. But people is not gonna run with it. No, not at all. People going to start saying, "Wake up, hold up." You keep pointing fingers.
Yeah.
Sooner or later you're gonna have four back that's pointing back to you. You know.
That's right. That's right. Come on now. Come on now. If they ain't gonna tell it, Martell will tell it. And see, they know they got Martell over a barrel because when Martell gets upset, he fumbles over his words. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
pause.
Yeah, he's not
He's
as articulate as they are, so they can overtalk him. You're right. Go
Yes,
ahead.
and they do. Yes, no, that part too. They overtalk him. He gets so frustrated moving around and just start blurting out everything instead of pausing. And then most of them on the cast, they're good wordsmith. They can read
Mm-hmm.
back. They're quick on their feet, just like you just said. And Martell is not that. But I tell you what, we might as well go ahead and let the cat out the bag because
I
why did
said
he
give him membership, but just give him a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Because
okay, all right, I ain't gonna say no more. I'm gonna
yeah,
hold it for
no,
you.
go ahead, but just go ahead and say what you want to say.
But what I this right here, now I know Miss Wanda ain't finna be mad about this because she already know she the main one that set it up on the show. Birds of a feather flock together. She knew how tight Martell and them was hanging. Marceau, Maurice, they were all hanging tight, running up in them streets. So that's why she said birds of a feather flock together. Now y'all want Martell on the outs. Nobody came to Melody's rescue. Marcel, you ain't speak up. Maurice, nobody came to the rescue or nobody saw how bad Martell was supposed to have been such a dangerous man, a
Hmm.
lying man, this, that, and the other, until now y'all want something out of the picture. It's gonna benefit you. Now y'all running over there to create an alliance with Melody to get Martell off the show. Well, my thing is this: if y'all want Martell off the show, Martell needs to get it all on out and let
Absolutely.
everybody's skeletons out the closet, because y'all not just gonna get rid of him that easily. You
Hmm.
all have made money, have all made money on the dysfunction and demise of Martell and Melody's relationship. We want to bring these other marriages to the forefront. What are y'all hiding in the background? Because truly, I'm trying to figure out how look, remember Kimmy when this show first started? Kimmy was such a strong, independent woman. She was the keeper in that marriage. Why in the heck did it take Maurice 7 years before he married her? Like
Hmm.
somebody said, everybody need to thank Carlos, because Maurice would have never married Kimmy if
Absolutely.
this show hadn't came along.
Absolutely.
Cause, honey, from the stories they were saying back in the day, Maurice was overweight, he was underemployed, and he was homeless, sort of like myself. But if it wasn't for Kimmy did upgraded him. In the words of Beyonce, baby, I can upgrade you. She didn't upgraded him. Got that man and lost some weight, looking good, living in that nice house, driving nice cars. He done went on to law school. He wouldn't have been able to go to law school without the support of Kimmy. Kimmy done worked like a
Absolutely.
damn a whole mule, trying to take care of him, help paying for him to go to college, raising his son, and the whole time being disrespected by the ex-wife. Ain't that something?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the part that I didn't like. You because no way in the world you wait until you get on the reality show, then I say I do. Like I said, I hate these type of people. People that help you get up to the ladder. Those are the ones that you want to go ahead and crap on. But getting back to some of this stuff right here, when it comes to how they wanted to drive Martell crazy. They wanted to drive Martell crazy because the stuff that now is about to come out, they didn't want it Martell on that show, and they definitely didn't want it Kiki on that show. You see what I'm saying? Because soon in a minute, Kiki was about to go ahead and hammer them. God rest her soul, and people might sit there and try to get mad, because we bringing it up. But like I said, get mad with all the other stuff that you guys bringing it up. They ain't gonna get mad with that, because they want you to sweep things under the rug like you sweep everything else. But
Honey,
I think what this is what I think. I think, and without coming out and saying no names, I think the
right,
reason why she did this and baited him in, and I'm saying a she can be anybody, baited him in
right.
up there because she been going from the ends of the earth trying to find something on Tisha. You see what I'm saying? So allegedly
Mhm.
she probably set that up. You don't think that she probably set
Mhm.
that up in Africa? So sooner or later that could come out.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Because why out of all places? If you think about it, out of all places, and then a lot of people say back then, and I remember he was saying himself that he was depressed. But a lot of folks that are
Mm-hmm.
depressed, honey, they overheat, eat, oversleep, or they go to a doctor, get some medication. Ain't nobody hopping on no plane going to Africa. Why out of all places did you have to leave out of America? Is it because you needed somebody? Ooh, wait a minute, Lady D.
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing now that some men are doing if they have the financial means to do so. They finding chicks to sleep with out the country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if this is the case. I'm just speculating. This is a rumor with no regard, but it did hit me. It's kind of like those passport bros.
Mm-hmm.
Is Marceau a passport bro
I don't know, but I
on
know
the
one
down low?
thing. I know one thing, honey. About them wells. That's all I know about them wells, digging them wells. You see what I'm saying?
The water wells. Them
The
water
water
wells.
wells.
They trying to make sure it's fresh water in Africa when the people over in Jackson, Mississippi and Flint, Michigan got dirty water. Babe.
Right there in Huntsville. I did a little documentary. It wasn't that much, but when people were sitting there saying that they had water, that's under their homes, and people were stealing it
Mhm,
from them, and it's so much stuff that's going on in Huntsville. But you want to go
mhm.
ahead out of the country, and talking about doing all that, and you
Mhm.
want to hide businesses from your wives and stuff like that. Like I said, what is in the dark is going to come to the light. That's how
It's
I
sure
see
gonna
it.
come to it's sure gonna come to the light. I'm glad Tisha's name is on most of the business, but then again, that'll set Tisha up for the downfall. If something nefarious goes on, Tisha, I hope she's involved in the business to paying attention to the books, the accounting, whatever contracts are signed. Because if it's just her name and she letting him run free nilly willy, if he's doing something nefarious behind the scene and shit hit the fan, they gonna put it he gonna put it off on Tisha because the companies, the businesses are
Hmm.
in her name. So
Hmm.
Tisha, be paying attention, sister. I'm not telling you to divorce your husband. You do what you want to do, but protect yourself, because the worst thing in the world is for a woman to be sitting on top, lose everything, and now you out here, you know, with no means of support with your children.
Hmm.
Now I know you got a strong family support and your mother ain't gonna let that happen to you. But baby, just to be married, to say you married, and it
Hmm.
appears like it's a loveless marriage. You're unhappy. You can't come and go like you want to because you stuck at home with the kids. And meanwhile, Marcel can go wherever he go. I mean,
Hmm.
it's just something. I-
And
And
that's
and,
sad.
go ahead, Lady D. I'm
That's
sorry.
no, you're right. I'm not cutting you off. I'm just saying that's sad.
And Africa, and now you've just finally decided to take your wife and children to Africa. I don't even recall Marcel showing any pictures of when he was in Africa, or what kind of help did he get over in Africa that helped resolve his depression. If
Talk
memory
about
serves me,
it, huh? Yeah, talk about it. Talk about the journey.
yeah, and if memory serves me correctly, I'm not mistaken, he didn't even talk to Tisha when he was over in Africa because he acted as if the Wi-Fi or something didn't work. I could have sworn that was one of the
Oh,
excuses.
it worked, honey. It
Mhm.
worked, honey. Because, like I said, I don't care if you go to the ends of the earth, people gonna always identify you. They gonna always identify you. Checking Boo said I checked Marcel big time when he went to Africa and had the audacity to state boldly he wouldn't have access to his farm. Yeah, his farm. That's what you just said, right?
Thank you,
Um,
Tiffany
what
Boo.
if something would have happened to his kids? Absolutely.
Mm,
Absolutely. He absolutely. Like I
it
said, what's in the dark gonna come to the light.
so is. He was over there with somebody. He was peaceful and happy and used that excuse he didn't have access to that phone so he can cheat in peace outside the country. Somebody over in Africa got pictures. I wonder
Mhm.
if Tasha K
Oh,
I wonder Tasha K.
she can have that. You heard me.
Yeah, we're
And
gonna let
yeah. Go ahead. What you said?
yeah, we'll let Tasha K handle that. Cause honey,
Yep.
y'all ain't getting nothing from me but bills and time. Bills and time. I ain't got nothing to give you, baby.
Ah, and like I said, and then the thing about it, you can't call nobody out. Oh, I thought she wasn't like this. I'm all for marriages. I've
Hmm.
been riding from day one. I'm all for marriages. But I'm not for people that's going to say just I'm married, but living in hell, sleeping with the devil. And I'm not saying when it comes to Martha is the devil, but still of all, you got your wife out here on this daggone reality show looking a plum fool, got her crying, got her acting a
Hmm.
fool.
Yeah.
So ain't nobody gonna ride for that. Nobody gonna ride for that because if you know that, Melody and Martell went through pure hell when it came to their marriage and how they picked it apart for 7 seasons. So
Mhm.
why would you want to put yourself out there? I would have sat there and I wouldn't even sign for another season because now, hey, your bones are coming up. What
And
goes around comes around.
that's right. And everybody has a right to talk about what happened in your marriage and what's going on because you up here on the show. It's free game. I don't care who get mad. Now, what you all have done is done Tisha a disservice. So I'm gonna beat this. This ain't no dead horse. This is a brand new pony. So I believe Tisha was set up.
I
I
think
believe
so
Tisha
too.
was set up to make that commentary, ill-advised commentary about Martell on Carlos King's show. Marsau could have shown it. He could have said it. Tisha didn't have to do it. The thing
Hmm.
is, I can use myself as an example. I was one of those people. I was a fan of Melody's in the beginning. I stepped away, never disliked her. Yes, I've criticized her. I made videos. I've given her nicknames and so forth. But I've always been for fairness. I like Tisha, and I was rooting for Tisha. And for me to actually be sitting and watching Carlos live in real time to hear that stuff come out of Tisha's mouth, it I was disappointed. It pissed me off, and I was mad. It took me some time to reflect that Tisha is being used because they know that
Hmm.
there is a large population of fans that do not like Tisha. Tisha
Absolutely.
is starting to slowly build her fan base. You know what I'm saying? And for her to come out there and make that comment, they know they couldn't send Marcel to say that comment because they want to keep Marceau in good grace with the fans because there are a lot of millimeters that really like Marceau. So had he been the one to come to make that comment, even though they dislike Martell, Marceau would have got some blowback from the fan base of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So what do? You send the most vulnerable cast member on the show
Absolutely.
out there to make these comments, and women like myself that had started rallying around her and supporting her to piss us off. And it's like y'all purposely trying to damage this woman to leave her out there on an island all by herself with nobody to help protect her. But I'm not going to continue to protect somebody if you not fighting back to protect yourself. Tisha does not have to disrespect Marceau or whatever, but Marceau could have went out there and did his own damn dirty work. Now Tisha walking around here talking about she rich wife. I keep telling y'all she's like a chameleon. I don't know which image she wants to portray. When she came on Love and Marriage Huntsville, she was the happy, lovable housewife, stay at home mother. Then a couple of seasons in, now all of a sudden she don't want to stay at home no more. She wants a career. She wants to go out there and get her brokerage license or whatever else and build these companies. Now we come back to season 8 and 9. Now she's in circle back. She didn't rebranded herself. Now her rebranding is she a stay at home mom, but she's a happy rich wife. She's a rich wife.
Mhm.
What good is it to be a rich wife if you unhappy and your husband don't shower you with love and affection and protection? Baby, I would pay. I can't wait to see the day that Marceau will sit there and look goo goo eye at Tisha the way he does to Melody. Melody can
Absolutely.
disrespect him, raise her voice at him, and he'll still smile with that receding gum line as if he's smitten with his first love. Tisha can't even say nothing. She can't even tell that naga to turn off the lights, and he ready to take her head off as if what she's saying to him just irritates his soul. So that's all I gotta say with that.
I was trying to find that scene. You remember when they Melody and Marcel when you was talking about how Tisha can't say the things that Melody gets away with. You remember when Melody and
Yeah.
Marcel had met up with each other? This one right here. Now, Letitia would have said something like this. Let me play this one right quick.
Oh, wow. What the is wrong with you?
Saying what the F? You think Tisha would have
You
talked
say
to
you
him
don't
like
know what
that?
the hell happened, but you gonna test the anchor free Martell? What the is wrong with you? Free Martell? You know what? No, that's that free Tisha.
Now you know good and well.
Well,
You know good and well. When it came to Tisha, Tisha wouldn't have been able to talk like that to him. You know. Also, checking your boo says Letitia is claiming to be hashtag teen wife, hashtag rich wife, while I believe Marcia said she was jealous of Martell ex-wife. I hated that part. You remember that scene, misbehaving
Yep,
when
I remember that.
yeah, what man
Yes,
you are gonna say in front of my face, my husband, I'm jealous of another woman. That was disrespectful to right there.
he was always dismissive of Tisha, always dismissive of anything she says.
Absolutely. And when it comes to that RP, I really think that that was a setup. That was staged to make Martell and Letitia look like the bad person, because Martell went out and not Martell, Marcel went out and said that he saw it. And then now all of a sudden get Maurice up there, and Maurice sat there and say, Marcel didn't see anything. They was trying to sit there and spin that narrative because they want the boatload of all that dirty stuff they wanted on Martell, because they didn't want it Martell on that show. And they tried all types of way because they know sooner or later all their dirt, especially when it comes to Africa. I saw someone, I think it was Marie, had talked about Tisha went ahead and posted some of the scenes. I remember when Tisha posted some of the scenes when she was in Africa, but I didn't see anything when Marcia went there. I didn't see Marcia post any pictures. And if anybody should have posted,
Right.
you out there by yourself. So, and then you going because, you trying to clear your mind. So if anybody should have been posting some pictures, it should have been him. You free out there.
Right.
Tisha had the
That's
kids and he tagged along.
hey, country girl.
All right, country girl. She said, I'll catch up with you guys later. About to get ready to leave work. Okay, girl, drive safe. Also, Checking Boo says, well, more people are beginning to say every person is sickening if they are trying to paint Martell as a mouse. Absolutely. If you constantly sitting there pointing the finger at someone, is because you want to take the deflection off of you, right? Misbehaving, when you constantly pointing the finger at everybody. We know they've been constantly pointing the finger for the longest when it came to Martell.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because they trying to hide what they're doing. They're trying to hide exactly what they're doing. And it's gonna come out one way or the other. Just like I heard the content creator talk about if Arion come up on this show, uh they're not going to, they're done with Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Yeah,
They're not going
right.
to
Yeah,
talk about it
right.
anymore. But this is my thing here. They can't make up their mind which one is it. First is uh if Ariane come on the show, she gonna get her tail beat
Mhm.
because Kimmy gonna whoop her butt. Tisha gonna whoop her butt. Now they talking about it. She come on, they not gonna want to watch the show. Everybody keeps saying Martell doesn't have a storyline. What she is his storyline. That's part
Thank
of
you.
his real life. Bring it on, and we can get some closure. Now everybody is forming against Martell and trying to make it look like he's a loose cannon and he's a liar. So he just automatically started becoming a liar now. Why wasn't
Mm.
he a liar back in 2019? Because any man to me that cheats is a lie. That's already been documented and proven. So why has it changed now? It's just that if Ariane come on this show, she can support and provide proof of whatever it is that Martell
Mhm.
is going to say that the other gentlemen were doing. And just like you said, they want them up off the show because they don't want their business out there. And then I'm telling you what, we need some closure. We got new storylines now. We got new characters. And for y'all talking about y'all don't like Trent, Ken, Trisha, and that doggone Marquez,
Oh,
baby.
the girl, that dude. Oh my God.
That brother's a lost cause. Ken need to pull back a little bit, and I know this is not about them, but they are good added cast members to the show. Because y'all want new people on the show, y'all can't pick and choose who you want. Y'all want somebody that'll help push along the narrative and the storyline that y'all want to push along. I want Trisha and Ken there because baby, it look like they'll pop off and they ain't got no problem telling nobody how they feel. And see, with Trisha and Ken there, we know they'll film with Martell, so they can't ice them out. So if you look at the numbers of the show, you got Ken, Trisha, Nell, Chris, Destiny, all five of those, they're willing to film with Martell. See, and that's why they keep asking. If you remember that last what episode was that where they couldn't understand why Chris Fletcher would want to steal. It was Marceau that said that be friends with Martell when he's called his wife a side chick.
Yeah, I remember
Don't
that
be
one.
trying to get that man to ice Martell out because Chris is a grown man and what he did is told Martell to his face, my wife ain't no
Hmm.
MNF inside, ain't no side chick, MF. Or did he say MF side chick? But
Hmm.
Chris let him go right then and there. And that's it on that. Ain't no trying to be no gang members up on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Come side with us. No, y'all tell y'all story. We tired of hearing about Melanie and Martell. And even if they were to leave up off the show, we still want to know your dirt. We want to know what's really going on in your life because y'all you ain't showing nothing. Y'all ain't showing nothing. Can I say something,
Go
Lady
ahead,
D?
girl. Go ahead.
I want to detour just for a second. Just for a second. Because I want to talk about Kimmy. Kimmy is a registered nurse. And isn't it odd that, Love and Marriage Huntsville started in 2019 is when they first aired. The height of the pandemic was in 2020. Kimmy is a registered nurse. Not once did we see an episode of anything dealing with her being a registered nurse in the pandemic. And
Absolutely. You're
you
right. Because on
once,
Married to Medicine, we saw them was out there. You remember they was outside
yeah.
helping the people giving COVID tests and little packages out there. You remember when they all was out there? We ain't never seen COVID
Yes.
Kimmy do anything.
And they can never make up their mind. There's been stories that she was a director of nursing for a nursing home. Then somebody else said that she was in administration. She was working in the office. When the pandemic hit, if you were a medical provider, they didn't care what your role was. It was all boots on the ground. Everybody was helping out. And even if, and I'm not saying they needed to show her at the hospital. They could have shown her going off to work, coming back from work, or how the pandemic affected her as a medical professional, especially from a nurse perspective. Because see, with Married to Medicine, we got a chance to witness how it affected doctors, especially like Dr. Eugene, who's in the ER. What about the nurses? How so they don't show everything. So art, and then I'm finna trickle on just a little bit more when she's talking about at the reunion when they supposedly had some secret room where they would party after hours. This is way before black wasn't created. And she was saying her office was above this room wherever they used to party. Well, what the hell are you doing after hours? I
Hmm.
mean, a hospice nurse make after hour calls, but you're at home. So what exactly was Kimmy doing? Kimmy ain't showed nothing either. Kimmy
Hmm.
ain't showed nothing either. Now I ain't gonna touch that cancer situation too much, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But ain't nobody showing nothing. So now Africa is the center point. And everybody need to show what's going on in their life because we tired of Melody and Martell, and we the fans are not gonna go for y'all icing this man off a show. We ain't falling.
Absolutely.
So what's
Absolutely.
great about Africa?
Well, the thing, when it comes to Kimmy, the only time I saw her in a nurse's outfit, you remember when she was trying to be sexy, one night with Maurice. You remember when she had a nursing outfit? That's the only time I saw her in a nursing outfit. But I see where Checking Your Boo has said that Maurice wanted Kimmy to leave the nursing field and pursue his vision in business. So that's what Checking Your Boo said. Also, she says, as you can chime in anytime.
I
You heard what
remember
Checking Your Boo said?
that. But
Mm-hmm.
still, what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to point out, none of them were, uh huh, go ahead. But
Ah, go-
yeah, that would have been good to show. She never showed that. We've heard them talking. We hear all of them doing a lot.
mhm. You're breaking up. You're breaking up, misbehaving.
And
Uh,
I
al-
didn't say
Also,
nothing.
check. You was breaking up. Yeah,
And
you
I'm
was
done, Lady
you.
D. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Checking Your Boo says, as bad as some of them want Martell off the show, they need
So
to
we
go handle that
off the show.
anxiety. The Fletchers, you can hear that one right here. She says, as bad as some of them want Martell off the show, they need to go handle that anxiety. The Fletchers, Destiny, and others will film with Martell. Absolutely. Martell is the show.
Mhm.
Melody is not the show unless she's talking about Martell, because I don't think that nobody wants to see now all of a sudden, Melody went ahead and dragged Tisha and them for almost 7 seasons now. Next season when they come on, they are in alliance with each other. They are friends. I don't want to see that. Would you want to see that?
No, I'm on completion of each story.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank
Carlos
you.
got this habit. Carlos got this habit. They show us bits and pieces, and then there's no conclusion of the story, and they want to hop to something else. I need you to close these storylines on out. And just like you said in your last video, and so many others have said, myself included, I don't like how, and I'm not going to bring it up after today. I promise, Lady D. If I do, you tell me, and I'm gonna send you a cash app.
No.
I don't, I don't like how when Martell was saying all of those horrible things about Tisha, how Tisha and Marsau just sat there laughing and smiling like
You talking about that
would.
field? You talking about that field day?
Yeah, from the field
Okay.
day. I don't like how they sat there laughing or smiling when Martell was making those comments about Tisha's past during field day. And then
Hmm.
we have to wait a week later or something when Carlos does his show, or a few days later, then Tisha makes that comment about Martell. My thing is this: if it was made at time when Martell said something to her, although it wasn't right, you could somewhat understand. Okay, she said that because she was mad. Had he not said that about her, she wouldn't said it. But they were
Hmm.
sitting there laughing and everything. So we have that closed off. But is there gonna be like a follow up to that? Is Marceau and Martell gonna have a discussion where Marceau checks Martell for doing
I,
that, or
I don't
are
think
they?
so.
Yeah, so Carlos has this habit of doing this. He'll show stuff that'll spark the crowd's interest, but he leaves it just there. There's no completion. What's the outcome? What's the follow up? I mean, we don't want it stretched out like the girls' trip was, because the
Hmm.
girls' trip, I mean, what was that, about 4 daggone episodes of them being over on islands? We don't need that. We just
Hmm.
need to see a conclusion. So I don't know, but I'm interested about this Africa. I want to know who he was over there in Africa with. And if he wasn't over there in Africa, Tisha, can you let us know if your husband called you? I mean, we don't need to know everything, but I just need to know.
Mhm. I
When
think that's
Martha,
why they was trying to shut Martell off. They was trying to shut him up and ice him out because they know that Martell said, "I'm about to reveal it all." And when Martell was about to let the cat out the hat or whatever, the rabbit out the hat, that's when, they went ahead and threw that out that he was gay. But I think Martell was leading up to talking about what was going on, allegedly when it comes to Africa. That's what I think. And after that, you didn't even hear no more. And then a few when last week, and they filmed like 7 months ahead of time, right before she came out the other day on Carlos King's show and talked about Martell was gay. But I think they was trying to say, okay, we already know when it comes to Martell, he's ready to talk about, all these women, and show pictures and, and then,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you didn't hear no more about it. So I think he was
Right.
leading up to talk about that. But, I feel if it was Martell, I would just went ahead out and said, I wouldn't go ahead and just give them little pieces, because if you give them little pieces, sooner or later they're gonna figure out, oh, we need to shut him up again. So they're gonna try to find something on him, where now what we really want to hear, we can't hear it no more, because now they done put more damaging stuff, like when it came to the RP. The RP was a setup. I truly believe the RP was a setup. The reason why, when it came to Tisha's hairstylist,
Right.
and she came in, and all of a sudden they got with the bloggers to put all that out, and most likely, they were trying to pin all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff on Martell, so they can go ahead allegedly to kick Martell out, so Martell won't bring Ariane. So then
Mm-hmm.
all the dirt that most likely Tisha know about all this stuff, and she don't want it to come
Right.
out because
Right.
she forgave him. You see, she forgave him, but
And
the
you
RP was to
right.
open. Yes, go ahead, babe.
No, you're right. I'm just agreeing with you. I said, and then I had forgot that I didn't know that that girl was Tisha's hairdresser.
Yeah, that was all
Oh
it said,
my
and
god.
all of a sudden a hairdresser come out, and contact Melody, or they contact each other. Melody agreed to it. Then Marcel, just like I said earlier, he agreed to it as if he saw the video. Then Maurice came out and said there was no video. All that right there was, they needed a storyline. They needed something that they thought that was going to stick, and it did take legs, and it did ran. But sooner or later,
Mm-hmm.
now you
Can
seen
I
it's
add? Let me ask you
unraveled.
this question.
Hmm.
Let me ask you this question. You know, I'm trying to find out, well, how did the hairdresser end up on the show? How did she end up on the show at the tea party?
Uh, and because I think this is what well, she was Tisha's hairstylist, right?
Right.
So, and by Tisha, I think it was Tisha or had invited her, or I think it was going to turn around, because she said that it was something that she went and told Tisha, but they went ahead and they cut it out. All that stuff was leading on with the RP. I think what they was trying to do is they was trying to get her on the show. So they had her as an extra, and we got to go back, because like I was sitting there saying, a lot of stuff they was throwing bits and pieces to us, but we couldn't connect the dots because we're so fixated on Melody and Martell drama. But when she came on, she had said that she was Tisha's hairstylist, which she did say that. And then she said that she was talking to Ariane, and Ariane went to some troll page and talked about the revenge, and she went
Yeah.
to Melody with the mess and all that right there. They was trying to get
Right.
this storyline together so they can get Ariane. So like I say, Ariane got to have something that is so powerful, where these people will go to the ends of the earth to keep uh Martell and Ariane from telling their story.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken Boo
You're
says
right.
Martell X gained a fan base by crying victim and spazzing out on social media and in episodes. I believe they set Tisha up. They all, yes, all of them set Tisha up. Tisha up as the female, hoping she would attract a sympathy fan base as male. They all set Tisha up, and Tisha fell for it. And it's just so
But you
sad.
know what? But the thing with Tisha is Tisha's let her I don't know what would be the correct word. to say, because I don't want to say jealousy wouldn't be the word, but her blind, like she's just blinded by, like, I want my get back. You know, Tisha's not paying attention. She's letting the fact that she wants to show everybody, I am that girl. I am that girl. I'm not dumb. I'm not slow. You guys want to make fun of me, but I am that girl. College educated, loving mother, loving wife, supported and loving daughter, but she's tired of being compared or left in the shadows of Melody. And I think she, with her having those blinders on because of all of these naysayers around her and in the fandom that make these videos, she's not paying attention to what's going on around her and how she's being set up and how the blowback is going to come to her. So, checking you, boo, you are absolutely correct. That's why I said I guess Melody is the blueprint, because yeah, Melody, a lot of us women rallied to her support because we saw, okay, this man had cheated, this, and now they're both on social media going back and forth. She seems like she's by herself, she's crying. We're going to support her. The thing is, I believe Tisha was on her to having a fan base, but like Melody's, however, Tisha isn't she's not a connoisseur of social media. You know, Melody has been on social media since the show began, garnering and building up her fan base. Tisha is late to the game, but now this fan base that she is trying to create, by them putting her out there like that on Carlos' show, it has turned some people off. Now, I would be foolish to say I've never heard of people talk crazy about Tisha. They have, and it has made me mad and upset that people would say stuff about her or talk up under her clothes about her. That's tacky to me. These women never want to attack the man. They don't want to attack Marceau, but why do you want to tear down the woman? Why are y'all tearing down? What she hasn't said or done anything to anybody. In fact, it used to be Marceau online reading women for filth. But now y'all want to overlook it and talk about, oh, it's something about Marceau. When you just see him on the screen, when you see him and Mel in a scene together, it's like magic on screen, baby. Bye. But y'all want to give Tisha the blues. Y'all better go somewhere and sit down. Y'all better go
Absolutely.
somewhere and sit down. So
Well,
yeah,
Carlos King got what he wanted because he did say when it comes to Marcel and Melody, they make good chemistry. So, now you got what you want because hey, we put them together now, and not only that stuff is coming out, but sometimes you just have to be careful, when it comes to putting your marriage out there for other people to pick it apart. You remember I said it so many times. I say nobody on the outside, including Carlos King, Melody, cannot tear down what Tisha and Marcel have, but themselves. The devil is going to come through them. You see, through Marcel, as you can see right here. So, like I
uh-huh.
said, much is given, much is
We-
required because they put their marriage out there. What you said?
Lady D, Lady D, D,
Mm-hmm.
highlight Chris Stella Hart. That is a perfect comment right there.
Right there.
Read it.
Marcel side blinding her, take focus off of him and Melody, and Latisha can't see the making her focus on Martell, and it's all a lie. Why didn't Marcel tell what Martell did since he knew it about it? You see, when he knew all about it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Why do it? And the thing is, Martell has always had a soft spot for Tisha.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, if people go back and watch the episode, a lot of stuff he didn't tell because of Tisha. And he even commented it, I think, during the field day, or I think, was it field day, or was he talking with uh Destiny? I almost forgot Destiny name. Sorry, Destiny. That he had respect for Tisha. But if you watch from the inception of this show, Martell has always had a soft spot for Tisha. So a lot of things he didn't tell. Now it's like the gloves are off. But I hate that Tisha is being used and she can't see it.
But I
And then
blame Keisha. You know, I blame Keisha because you, like I said, uh, if your husband is in alliance with all the outsiders, believing you out, so I blame, like I said, I blame Keisha for it because
and
your
yeah,
husband is in the mix of this. Your husband is allowing you to be thrown out there in the wolves. And look what Chicken Boo says. Chicken Boo say Carlos is covering up himself. All of those females came out trying to cry hostile workplace. Seems he didn't want Tisha added to that list. So he told her to stay, to say what she wanted. You
I
see?
can see that. I can
I can
see
see
that.
that too. Yes. Hey, Gail, I can see that.
Hey, friends. Uh-huh.
Chanel
Hey, Mar-
says that he says it's a field day. Also, Chicken Boo say yes, misbehaving. Martell has shown compassion for Tisha as well as for her son, which is why he retracted. You remember the 20 women because Marcel
uh-huh.
said his son asked about it. I believe Martell stands on 20 women. Most likely,
Yes.
yeah.
Because if they've been married 18 years, it's not too far fetched to think a woman a year. In my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
all my comments are alleged and for entertainment purposes only. It's not too far fetched. And just because Martell rescinded that comment about the 20 women's, he did it because of the son.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
he that's what he did. He apologized for the son. But let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you something. Martell wasn't out there hoeing by himself. Now, even Melody has admitted now that a man can't make you cheat. But she claimed they never had any issues in their marriage until he started hanging around with
Absolutely.
Maurice and Marcel. And see, the thing is, like we keep saying, and I done said, his wife Melody was a different type of woman than Tisha and
Mm-hmm.
Kim. So all wives ain't gonna move the same way. No matter how many times Martell cheated, eventually she got tired and she had enough. But Martell ain't lying about everything. He ain't lying about everything. And just like he said, there's bro code
Mhm.
and the latter part of what he said. Because women, if you don't want to admit it or not, some of us don't stick together. We'll hurry
At
up inside
all.
with men. But men, when they do their dirt, they gonna stick together. They're not gonna tell on each other. If they fall out and have a fight, they find a way to come back together and be cordial. Some of us women, we gonna hold grudges. Some of us, we may forgive you, but it's still in the back of our mind what you did, so we not gonna
Mhm.
trust you. So it's just like that. But Tisha, in a way, I feel like they're trying to alienate Tisha. So because in this scene with this picture where you got Tisha
But
up
why
here,
would why
where
why the husband want to do that? You see, because if you're gonna say add the husband with it too.
well,
Why he
he
want to
is
do that
part of
to
the
her?
day.
Mm-hmm.
So she has nobody to support her. She's left in alert. She doesn't know what's going on. Ain't nowhere in the world, Lady D, you ain't never seen him come out. You have seen countless videos where folks has tore down Tisha and uplifted Marceau,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just smiling and happy with it. How many times have we said we don't like it when he's meeting with Melody by himself? Why is he talking to Melody? That's
Absolutely.
disrespectful. Now all of a sudden they throw us a bone this episode. They make sure that Tisha is sitting there at the bar with Marceau, and then Melody comes in, and look at the disrespect.
Thank you.
He ain't even tell his wife of 18 years that, we're not going to be the only ones here. I called Melody, or Melody reached out to me, and she'll be meeting us here. You know what I'm saying? So Melody
Yeah.
pops up. So now you get this real reaction out of Tisha. And so for many people, with Tisha having that response, like the sour look on her face, it can make people think, oh, she jealous of Melody. No, she ain't jealous of
Yeah.
Melody. This is a conversation she having with her husband, and now he just bringing her here to have a conversation. Now I gotta play fake.
Yeah,
That's the new word, y'all.
the disrespect, and I know they be watching our they be watching our channels because we already sat there and say that is disrespectful to have Melody. with scenes with Marcel and not Tisha, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And look,
Yeah.
and it still was really it was more disrespectful just to see them all together
Mm-hmm.
because the way that, all the stuff that happened. Now, if you were sitting at the table with Melody and you knew Melody been after your marriage from day one, at least she should have brought up that, Melody, why was you after my marriage? Melody, let's talk about, you wanted to pay a woman to come on to say that she was, she was messing with my husband. I would have brought up something. Or Melody, you got a dark soul. Would you let the devil back in your life when you know it's a devil? If not, the devil gonna come back 7 times worse, right?
And no, the only thing you can say is kindred spirits feel each other. So
Got to be,
how
got to
is it?
be.
Look, they are. Look, I'm telling you to them because how did she go from calling saying Melody has a dark heart, a dark soul, but now you sitting up there smiling in her face and then want to talk about how deceitful Martell is.
Thank
Now
you.
all of a
That's all we
sudden,
saying. That's all we saying. Absolutely.
I'm
Go
telling
ahead.
you, and was it checking you, boo? You put it up in there. Marcel is really pulling the strings, folks.
Hmm.
Melody has the fan base. She does. She does have the fan base, but make no mistake, it's Marcel pulling the strings. And Marcel, when you watch him when he's dealing with Melody, it's like a cat playing with its prey, like a mouse. You think you're in charge, but you're really not. I'm letting you
No.
think that you're in charge, but I'm manipulating you as well. So that's all Marcel is doing too. He's
Hmm.
manipulating Melody too. Yeah, he's using her as a tool of destruction against
Hmm.
Martell. So he's ready for Martell to be up on off this show, and if he got to link up with Melody to do it, he's going to do it. Cause I'm gonna tell you, Marceau done got that number one spot, baby, and he ain't letting it go for nobody. He ain't letting it go for nobody. I don't care
You
how
say
much hate.
Marshall got that number one spot. Marshall Scott, right?
Yes, Marcel Scott, not no
Hmm.
Martell. This show was built off of Martell and Melody, but baby, right now this is Marcel's season. He has that number one spot. That's why Carlos liked to give him lots of compliments to blow his head up. When
Hmm.
people get the adoration and compliments, it makes their head big, and they start getting a big head and become arrogant. But Marceau ain't giving up that number one spot. He don't care who gets hurt in the way. But Melody, make no mistake, Marceau ain't no Martell.
Hmm.
Marceau gets angry, but he knows how to control his emotions, and he's good with his words. He's making Melody feel as if she's in control, and she's not. Because I'm telling you, if they are successful in getting Martell kicked off the show, Melody will be leaving shortly thereafter, and it won't be by her choice. It won't be no
Hmm.
need for her. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate her doing I appreciate her giving out the food, that little community drive that she did where they were passing out meals for the holiday. I appreciate that, but we don't know is she dating, what new business ventures, we don't know anything. So what would be her storyline? Is she going to be a mentor to Marquez, Trisha husband?
Hmm.
No, is the
Hmm.
Tisha Marsau show, and really it's the Marsau show. Uh, Tisha is just an extra because they really
Hmm.
want it to be about Marsau and Melody. That's what they
That's what
really want.
Carlos King wanted. That's what Carlos King
Okay.
wanted. But this is what Nicole says is still going to backfire. I see it like that as well. She said it's still going to backfire if Marcel doesn't want to be transparent. That will alienate the fans, so he won't keep the number one spot. And the thing about it is, when she was talking about being transparent, when it started coming up all his dirt, you see, with the 20 women and the all the stuff that Ariane know, all the stuff out there that Tasha K know,
Mhm.
the Africa stuff and all that. So he's not gonna lose he's not gonna lose his family I think that, that's when Martell is going to come back, because Martell is just as smart as him. We're not going to, dummy down Martell, because Martell going to say, okay, I know where the bodies are. We
Right.
hung together. So you're not going to have my number one spot without a fight. So that's when
That's right.
Martell going to start digging up the dirt. And just like I said, when it comes to Ariane, Ariane, she hung out with them when they was out there, with the linebackers. So she got some of the pictures, or whatever
Mhm.
they got. But you think that they gonna just let Marcel just sit on that seat, smoke his cigar, and just think that he can be able to go through? It's not. It's gonna be a hell of
Uh-uh.
a fight. It's gonna be
Oh
a hell
yeah.
of a fight.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I know Martell ain't no
Mhm.
dummy. I know he may not be good with words, but he's good with finding evidence, putting things in putting things in motion. Oh yes. Oh
Aaliyah,
yes.
if you want to know that, you're gonna have to join the membership, okay? She said, who went to Africa with him, or who did he meet in Africa? Okay,
Oh
you're gonna
yeah,
have to
that's
join the
membership.
membership. That's membership only.
Mhm.
Okay. Checking Your Boo says, I do believe a lot of things will backfire against Marcel. It's going to be a hell of a fight. The only way that, Marcel going to be able to keep that title, to stay in that seat, that's if they find a way to not bring in Ariane, because, Martel could say stuff that's till he blew in the face, and they still going to call him as a liar. But if he bring in Ariane on there, then hey, it's gonna be a hell of a fight.
Mhm.
You say, mm-hmm.
Look, and then you see, and then Aaliyah, you said who's gonna if Mel leave,
Thank you
who's
very
going
much.
to
He said,
watch? There
okay,
are gonna be
I
people
will.
that
What?
still watch the show. Uh,
Absolutely, Amelia, not to cut you off. She said, "Okay, I will. What year to I will join?" Okay, that's what she said. Nicole says, "Lady D, the Scots have been separated to the point where they can't even put." I'm gonna let Misbehaving handle this one. You listen, Misbehaving. She says, "Lady D, the Scots have been separated to the point where they can't even put on an act anymore. I mean, when you want wear a wedding ring, that's your wife is willing to buy you, right?" Go ahead, Misbehaving.
right. Well, Nicole, I don't know if you've seen lately. uh, Tisha and Marsau went to a party of some sort, and Tisha don't even look like herself. So I was like,
Uh-uh.
"Is that Tisha?" But Marceau in the photo, he did have the wedding ring on. It's one of those black rings that some of these men like to wear. He did have that on. But yeah, ain't nowhere in the world, uh, even without that photo, ain't nowhere in the world I would want to get on TV and I got to take my husband to a jewelry shop and try to convince him to wear a ring. He wasn't wearing a ring in season one. He wasn't wearing that ring when Maurice and Kimmy got married. So what make you think he finna start wearing a ring now in 2024? So look, there have been clues that there has been unhappy in the home. I don't know. Folks just staying together for the kids. When the kids turn 18, go off to college, the youngest one, maybe they'll finally separate, or who knows? They may stay together until the end of times, because that's how our grandparents were back in their days. They may have been in an unhappy marriage and they just stayed until they
Absolutely.
went off to glory. So that's just the thing it is. I really feel like this show, Love and Marriage Huntsville, is just emblematic of so many other shows where they only want to pay women in certain roles. I agree with you.
Alelia, shout out to Alelia. She's a new member. So guys, make sure you go ahead and welcome Alelia. She is a new member. Thank you for joining the membership. Where my girl at? You got the mic, Misbehaving.